We do need to kind of look at the Joel Embiid situation with 10 games to go, because looking at some of the chat, and I was looking at our guy RJ, and RJ was talking about how you guys keep saying he's coming back. He's not coming back.
Why are you giving RJ some more? Just amplify his trolling, man.
I like the conversation.
He's here every day. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's always
He's
in.
trying to pull some buttons. Look, or push some buttons. Pull some strings. No, that doesn't work. Push buttons. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Look, Joel Embiid is coming back because Joel Embiid wants to come back. He had the surgery to come back for this playoff run. Like Kyle has mentioned plenty of times, like when Kyle spoke to the doctor before the surgery, the point of getting the surgery, ideally, in a perfect world, a doctor would tell you, go, give it 6 weeks, see how it feels, and then we'll figure out the surgery. See whether or not you can recover from this without removing part of your meniscus.
Yep.
The reason you do the surgery right away is so that you speed up that timeline. Because if you sit there and you don't get the surgery and it doesn't work and you have to get surgery, you've wasted 6 months, or 6 weeks, you've wasted 2 months, whatever have you. In this case, yeah, you lose part of your meniscus, which isn't great for your long-term health. The benefit to that is you get back on the court quicker. The only reason you would do that is to make this playoff run. It's not a big con. They're not trying to swindle you out of ticket money.
Nope.
They're trying to get Joel Embiid back on the court. If you look at the history of torn meniscuses, it has a really good track record of being a predictable 6 to 8 week kind of injury. Am I telling you that it's 100%? No, there's always something that could happen. But the reason we talk about Joel Embiid returning is because they have every intention of Joel Embiid returning. And the reason Joel Embiid would return is because if you get an 8 seed or a 7 or 8 seed, which, like I just went over the probabilities, is a really strong chance of happening, you have a chance to win one game, capture that 7 seed, go against the Bucks, and with Joel Embiid, who freaking knows? And yes, he's not going to be at 100%. That's not going to be perfect. But we have shown with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on the floor, they can beat just about anyone in the league. Why would you not? Even if it's just a 5% chance of making a deep run, you can't look at that at Joel Embiid, who just turned 30, and tell him, no, don't take that chance. Don't make that playoff run. Don't go up against teams that you can beat because we're paranoid. That's just not the way it's going to happen.
Provolone John says, Legs, Tim Legler, ESPN, and ALLCITY's NBA show with Adam Mars was pointing out that once Embiid does come back, it will change everything in the Eastern Conference.
Go back to this show right before he got injured. Kyle was sitting here almost laughing at the Bucks for hiring Doc Rivers and saying they don't scare me. Now, look, Doc Rivers has made the Bucks better, and this is something we said at the time. He is not a perfect coach. We all know his faults, but he is an upgrade. There was a base level of confidence that he has brought to that franchise, and they've been playing better basketball. They've been running more pick and roll with Dame. He's been playing better basketball because of it. They are a better team with some faults in their coaching and in their personnel. But still, go back. They don't scare you the way that maybe Boston does, the way that typical number 2 seeds do. They are a team that has gotten older. They're a team that has less depth, and they're a team still trying to figure each other out with a coach who is not perfect in the postseason. We'll just leave it at that. There's nobody that really terrifies you when the way Joel Embiid was playing, with the way that Tyrese Maxey was playing off of him, and with the way that Buddy Hield. I do think once you get that sort of base level and that sort of core to play off of, I think Buddy Hield will be a key piece that they didn't have earlier on in the season. This is a team who, if Joel Embiid comes back, if he was at 100%, I would say they're the second best team in the East. You don't expect them to be at 100%, so there's going to be some uncertainty, but in no way are they going to punt that just because you're down on the team right now because they can't find a way to win with Kelly Oubre and Nick Batum featuring. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, man. If they get it, look at how we were talking about them before he went down when he was healthy. Now he would have to come back and he would be maybe not 100%, but still somewhere in that 75, 80, 85%. But him on the floor, period, changes a lot of things. Tyrese Maxey talked about this. I think it was after the Clippers game when he was saying that, look, we're holding up. We're doing what we're doing. We're getting these wins. We're putting these wins together. We're getting things done. And I was listening to one of the things that he said during the post-game interview against the Clippers, and he pointed out, hey, eventually we're going to get this big guy back who can drop 40 at any time. And when you do that, it opens things up for him, Tobias Harris, certainly the Buddy Hield conversation that we had at the top. You move players back into their roles where maybe Kelly Oubre is coming off the bench or Buddy Hield is in the starting lineup, whatever it is, Nick Batum, whatever it is, so many things fall into place when that guy is in the place, and he makes things that much easier.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. And then with that, the other team fears and scared. He scares the hell out of other teams. You know who he will probably scare the hell out of? Doc Rivers.
Yes.
Because he knows. Training camp. James Harden, sideline conversation. NBA TV is chronicling the whole thing. This is not a democracy. He knew where the ball was going. He knows where the ball is going to go, but that just means that it's going to throw everything out of whack for the defense in trying to slow him down. And then, by the way, you got another all-star who can go off for 40 in a game. Yeah. We saw him go off for 40 in a playoff game. He's already done that. So if he does, and when we say if and when, it's just because I say if and when, and Derek and Kyle speak a certain way also, because look, there is a chance that he might not be able to play. But if and when is just to be more cautious because he is not back. There are 10 games, and then there's the play-in and the playoffs. There's a chance that he might not be back in uniform. But if and when he does, or I would lean more towards when he does, this is a totally different conversation. And it just goes with the season, how interesting the season would be for him to miss all that time, to come back, be the MVP leading candidate when he leaves, come back. We see the importance of him to this basketball team, and some people kind of pull back on all the criticism that they have about the way that he plays because he's not there, and you see the big difference in the wins and losses when he's not out there on the floor. And he comes back and he potentially gets back into that MVP form and leads this team as a maybe 7, 8 seed, 6 seed at best, and lead them to a second round. And we see where things go from there. Let's see how we talk about that in the offseason and how this story could end, because the East would be in flux then if he's back. Yeah.
It really does feel like people are just overreacting to the fact that we have hit sort of like the floor of the season. And it's hard to see out of that.
We all silly like the mayor.